Good morning, good morning, good morning to you all. I'm Tanika Maria, back out here with you again on another beautiful Saturday morning. Actually, this will be Saturday when you actually see this video. And just wanted to come out here, as I'm always committed to do, and to just share some brief nuggets and wisdom with you in the area of emotional healing, love, relationships. As you know, I'm all about getting real, being healed, and moving forward in life in emotional wholeness, peace, and clarity. If you haven't caught my video from last week about worthiness and intimacy, to be truly loved, you have to be truly known, then I encourage you to go back and catch that video. And I was just briefly teaching just a little bit of one of my favorite mentors and authors, Shannon Yvette, her book, Worthy, The Highest Calling. And I'm in the chapter where she's talking about connections and romantic love. And I want to unpack that a little bit more this week. And today's topic is just this one sentence that really touched my heart in this book here. Again, this is Shannon Yvette, Worthy, The Highest Calling, and I'm just unpacking a little bit in this book on today. And she makes this sentence here: if we need another person to be perfect or mistake-free before we can accept them, then we're not ready for love. I want you to pause and I want you to think about that. If you need someone to be perfect, if you need for them to be mistake-free, then you're not ready for love. Because guess what? You're not perfect and you're not mistake-free either. None of us are perfect. We all have our issues. We all have our struggle, right? And so looking at this statement here, she goes on to say, grace is needed as we grow into love. Grace is needed. We need grace. If we need somebody to be perfect, if we need them to be mistake-free, and before we can fully accept them, we're not ready. We're not ready. Love is the supreme teacher, and we are all yet flawed students. And so let's unpack this a little bit, and I'm going to talk about this some more. To really be able to open up to the love that we say that we want, then we got to surrender. We need to surrender. And then secondly, we actually have to be open. You have to be open to it. And what does that mean? That means we have to find the balance between guarding our hearts and using discernment and wisdom as to who to let in, and actually still being open. You have to be open if you really want to be loved and seen and known for who you are. Then that means you got to open up. Right? You can't be closed and then say, I want love. I want someone to see me. I want someone to really get me. But then you're running and you're sabotaging it. It requires a lot of courage to really love. If you really want that love that you claim, you say that you want, then we got to be open. And she goes on to say here, it's not easy to remain vulnerable and open to love when you've suffered the heartbreak of betrayal. She asked the question, how do we keep our hearts open yet guarded? Love requires the freedom of openness and the wisdom of discernment. There it is. Ask God to give you the discernment to be able to choose somebody that's a safe place for your heart. And then when you peel back that a layer, then the big question is your heart safe for love? Is your heart safe for somebody else? Is your heart even safe for your own self? Are you still struggling with unworthiness? Are you still struggling with shame? Are you still struggling with unforgiveness to yourself from the mistakes of your past? Are you having a hard time getting over an ex? Are you still caught up in rebound relationships and doing messy things and sabotaging and doing this and that? Then your heart's still not safe. So I got to make sure my heart is safe. And then secondly, now I have to have discernment to choose someone else who's a safe heart for me, right? As long as my heart is unsafe, then I'm going to attract another unsafe heart. Think about that. As long as I stay unhealed, I'm going to attract someone else who's unhealed at the same level that I am in. It's a subconscious thing. It's a spiritual thing. We only attract what we are, not what we want, but what we are. So we got to have the freedom of openness, and we got to have discernment to discern whether or not someone is safe for us to open our hearts to. And then the thing behind that is your heart safe as well? Can someone be trusted? Can God trust his best with your heart? For the ladies that are listening to me, there's a man out there that's praying, that's looking for a woman like you, but are you ready for him? And can God trust you with that man? For the men that may be listening to this video, are you a trustworthy and safe heart for that woman that you deeply desire? You know, God's just not going to hand over his best for you to mess over their hearts. Come on. The vulnerability, listen to this sentence. The freedom to love is not about the object of our desire, but the personal peace and confidence provided when we choose to live authentically from the heart. So when you're making the decision to be open, when you're making the decision to be vulnerable, you're making a choice to be authentic and open-hearted, regardless of whether or not you have a romantic partner or not. So this is an ongoing daily choice to surrender to God, to be vulnerable, to be true to yourself, and to show up fully and truly as who you are in all of your relationships, not as in a romantic relationship. And that takes a whole lot of confidence, and it takes a whole lot of courage. And most of us are still shrinking. Most of us are still hiding back. Most of us are still holding back. We don't want people to, we want to be loved deeply. We want to be known deeply, but we still keep hiding anyway. It's like, what do we really want, right? God's love is the safest hiding place for our hearts so that we can learn how to trust again. So if you have trust issues, you've been betrayed, you've been burnt, you've been abandoned, you've been rejected, you've been embarrassed and put to shame in the name of love, then the only place for you to learn how to trust is to get back into God's love. God's love can heal you of that trust issue. God's love can heal that brokenhearted. This is the most reliable place for your heart to heal. And when you surrender that desire for a romantic relationship to God and place your trust in the source of love, God is love. Come on. God is love. He is the source of love. So we got to go back to him. Let him heal and mend that broken heart. Let him heal that abandonment. Let him heal that betrayal. Let him heal that shame and embarrassment. Get in alignment with the source. Get in alignment with the source. And now from that place, I can be open-hearted. I can be vulnerable. I can surrender. Now my heart can be safe because my heart is not full of all this bitterness, resentment, all of this stuff from the past. Now I'm safe. Now I can attract another safe person. Come on. And now I'm ready to love. And think about this. Now I want you to think about this. Think about this. Many of us have broken another person's heart, intentionally or unintentionally. Think about your past relationships. The other person wasn't always the culprit. You have broken someone's heart. You have hurt somebody. You probably messed over somebody. You have done things in relationships that you're not proud of, right? We've all caused pain in some shape, form, or fashion, whether we realize it or not, whether it was intentional or not. Most of us, self-included, have caused pain. And the same grace that you want people to extend to you is the same grace that you need to extend to them. Think about it. We're all in this process. We're all in the journey to love. We're all in the initiation and the process of learning how to love. So I encourage you this morning to have faith in God and receive that grace. Grace necessary to grow into love. Grace necessary to realize that we're all going to make mistakes. Grace necessary to realize that just as I've hurt somebody and caused pain in my past, other people have too. And as long as I'm expecting people to be perfect and mistake-free, then I'm not ready for love. As long as I'm trying to be closed and trying to protect myself, but I still got that deep desire to be loved. I still have that deep desire to be known, but I'm still closed, then I'm not ready for love. Love attracts love, and open hearts attract open hearts. If you want open-hearted, full-hearted, vulnerable love, then you got to be the same way. And you got to be willing to accept someone's imperfections and flaws, knowing that you have yours too. Amen. We got to surrender our past fears, surrender our past worries to God. That is the message and that is the word for today. I hope that this blessed you, and I encourage you to just ask God to help you to open your heart in a deeper way. It requires humility, it requires sacrifice, it requires being open. And if you can't be open right now because your heart is still hurting and tender, then ask God to heal it. My name is Tanika Maria. I'm all about helping you get real, be healed, and move forward in emotional wholeness, peace, and clarity. Stay connected with me. Go to my website, TanikaBreeden.com. There you will find resources. If you haven't subscribed, definitely subscribe, because I want to come out here and pour once a week so that you are encouraged, edified, and strengthened in your walk and in your personal journey to emotional wholeness, peace, and clarity. Take care. I hope you had a blessed and wonderful Thanksgiving. Talk to you soon.